Stuart, Mayor of Virginia, and I have identified that college today has become more of a financial burden than an effective investment for the future. We are asking you, Mrs. Legislator, to listen to our proposal to end our society's obsession with the college degree. We have identified and are confident that apprenticeships are this nation's solution to the financial burdens that plague college goers and are causing poverty at a high rate. First, I would like to inform you of the negative aspects of college. Crippling student debt and the possibility of failure prove that pursuing a college degree is not always the best option for the youth of America. A study performed by the National Bureau of Economic Research shows that students graduate with on average $13,275 in debt, reducing the benefits gained from having a degree and limiting college graduates' economic mobility. In addition, 39% of those that attend college fail to graduate, despite investing in their education. Our government spends on average $11,400 per student to fund a 2-year degree, which is extremely wasteful and could be better allocated to benefit our youth.
Now that we have addressed the negative aspects of colleges, we can turn to the better and more effective choice, apprenticeships. Apprenticeship programs are incredibly beneficial programs in which individuals do productive work for an employer. Apprentices earn a sufficient salary and get trained extensively through work-based training while taking classes directly related to the occupation for 2 to 4 years. The program allows individuals to develop strong specific occupational skills in addition to other important skills dealing with communication, problem solving, and the managing of both resources and diverse coworkers.
Before we dive deeper into the benefits and solutions that apprenticeships offer, we want to let you know why we feel the way we do. The shift towards apprenticeships that we are promoting are supported by the ethical ideas of Iris Marion Young. Young believes that nobody should be oppressed, or in other words, have their self-expression restricted. The current system that connects education to the workplace is oppressive. Too many people are not properly educated by colleges and are not well prepared for the workplace. In addition to being unprepared, those who attend college often have large amounts of debt. Young and we believe that oppression is structural, and the oppression resulting from the current status quo of attending college is most definitely structural. Currently, there is not a support system in place to assist youth who want a lucrative career without attending college. Young would agree that this oppression cannot be fixed by redistribution of wealth. Just like Young would suggest, we think that a cultural shift needs to be made to escape this oppression. Young's liability model does not place the blame on an individual group, but instead we are all responsible. Because of the current social injustice, our solution is multifaceted and requires collective action from schools, businesses, and the government. In addition, the victims need to be part of the solution. This means students graduating high school need to be open-minded to the apprentice track and willing to deviate from what is normal. Now, on to the benefits. Apprenticeships benefit workers for many reasons. The primary way an apprenticeship benefits a worker is because they do not accumulate student loans, which are a major cause of poverty. The prospect of a debt-free education is particularly beneficial to millennials, who are facing college costs that have increased 250% in the past 3 decades. Millennials have an average student loan balance of $25,000 at graduation. In addition to not spending money on an education, apprentices are able to earn money while they learn because apprenticeships are, in fact, real jobs. Apprentice wages typically start at about 50 to 60% of their eventual wages because pay increases as they progress through their programs and master more skills. Not only do apprentices start making money earlier, they make more money in the long term. Researchers have found the workers who complete an apprenticeship make an average of $240,037 more than comparable job seekers in their lifetimes. The benefits of apprenticeships extend to businesses as well. In today's market, employers are struggling to find and hold on to quality skilled workers. Georgetown University's Center on Education predicts that by 2020, the United States workforce will face a shortage of 5 million workers who are equipped with technical certificates and credentials. Adopting apprenticeships allows companies to fill the gap by producing skilled laborers. In addition, by developing their own workers, firms are able to build a workforce with customized skills. A specialized workforce is much more efficient than employees with general training. Another benefit of apprenticeships for firms is that workers are more likely to stay with the company because of mutual investment. Loyalty is developed, and therefore poaching is less of a concern. In England, the average retention rate for former apprentices across all industries is 73%. Another benefit of apprenticeships is that they allow firms to save money on wages. The idea that apprenticeships are a financial burden is untrue because apprentices start out earning about 40 to 50% less than a fully trained employee. The lower wages also serve to offset some of the costs of offering an apprenticeship program. As you can tell, apprenticeships prove to be positive investments for businesses. To be precise, a 2009 study of Canada's workforce showed that for every $1 invested in an apprenticeship program, Canadian employers of all sizes and in every province can expect to receive $1.47 in return. Numbers don't lie. Apprenticeships are a very lucrative opportunity for businesses. For this reason, 86% of registered apprenticeship sponsors in the United States say they would strongly recommend hiring an apprentice. The benefits of apprenticeships also benefit the government. Apprenticeships are an extremely cost-effective way of building a national workforce, and therefore reduces unnecessary spending. The United States national government currently spends $11,400 on every student enrolled in a community college, whereas they only spend $400 on every apprentice. Apprenticeships don't cost as much as a college education, so the government can save money by investing in apprenticeships instead of college students. Another benefit is that a larger skilled workforce means fewer unemployed people. Apprenticeships have the ability of employing people immediately by bypassing time and money spent on a college education. Apprentices are valuable because the skills earned are the skills desired by employers. Likewise, apprenticeships reduce the probability of an unbalanced workforce. All of the employment that stems from apprenticeships benefits the government as well. When the population is employed and earning money, the government is able to spend less money to aid the impoverished. In 2012, the U.S. spent $550 billion to reduce poverty. The government could significantly reduce this number if apprentices become employed and do not become impoverished.
The benefits of apprenticeships have been proven in a program developed in Georgia in which high school juniors and seniors do 2,000 hours of training and 144 additional hours of related work. The individuals involved receive not only a high school diploma, but also a post-secondary degree or certificate and an additional certificate of industry-recognized competencies that pertain to employment in high-skilled jobs. More than 7,000 students participate in Georgia's program and have experienced the positive results of the intense training. Over 95% of employers say that the apprenticeship program has been highly advantageous to their business and that they would recommend it to other companies. Based on these results, you should want to use your influence to continue to create these high school programs.
One thing that policymakers of all parties can agree on is that our youth needs to be more prepared to enter the workforce in order to earn a sufficient income. By increasing the pay of those entering the workforce, our nation can combat inequality and make economic mobility a possibility. Apprenticeship is one pathway towards achieving this goal. Therefore, our solution consists of a three-step plan that you as a policymaker can make a reality. The first part of our solution is getting more involved in high schools. In our country, most apprenticeship programs operate completely separate from high schools, mostly assisting workers over the age of 25. In order to better prepare our non-college bound youth, these students must be informed of the option of apprenticeship during the beginning of high school. Therefore, our government needs to focus more on getting involved at public high schools across America, especially in low-income areas. Creating more career academies would make this possible. Career academies are high schools that provide training in occupational and industrial fields. Each academy should have a counselor that works to connect students with employers. These counselors would strive to create relationships with local companies and industries in order to build pathways for students. The counselor also serves as a mentor to the student, helping him or her in this transitional part of life. Information sessions and brochures should be made available to students during freshman or sophomore year to generate interest before they are allowed to apply and seek out employment. Students should take an aptitude test to help them focus on an industry, which would be followed up by Career Day to allow the students to view for themselves their possible apprenticeship. In combination with working as an apprentice, the students must still take courses at the high school. Therefore, high schools must develop a curriculum that incorporates coursework and work experience. Secondly, our government must begin a marketing campaign aimed at promoting apprenticeship to companies. According to the Hamilton Project, the number of applicants for apprenticeships each year exceeds the number of opportunities available. This shows that interest in this program is not the issue, but that the lack of slots open to new applicants is. Therefore, the government must take action in promoting to companies the benefits of hiring apprentices. A marketing campaign directed at firms across the nation would increase the willingness of companies to provide apprenticeships to non-college bound youth. The government could do this by first dispelling the fears that many companies have of hiring apprentices. Such fears include hiring workers that lack skills which would hinder production. Also, many firms claim that they do not have the correct infrastructure to support apprentices, such as mentors and trainers to supervise training. In addition, this campaign would promote the benefits of apprenticeships to firms and encourage them to hire more by providing subsidies for building infrastructure and tax credits per apprentice hired. The baseline tax credit per apprentice would be $1,000 per year. However, this tax credit would increase if the hired worker was from a low-income area, an ethnic minority, or a male. This is because these three groups of people are most affected by lack of college access, thus potentially lessening inequality in our nation. These tax credits will continue to be provided to firms if they employ the worker after completion of the high school program. In addition, the government should use this marketing campaign to connect companies who would like to be involved to high schools in the area, thus creating a solid relationship. This will allow a pathway for students to obtain an apprenticeship for generations to come. Lastly, there must be a shift of government funding away from community colleges and towards apprenticeship. These two steps are only made possible by more government funding to apprenticeship, which is why we need you and your fellow legislators' support. The government must shift funding at the state and federal level away from community colleges and towards apprenticeship. Currently, the U.S. in total at all levels of government spends around $400 per apprentice per year. However, for a community college per student per year, the U.S. spends upwards of $11,400. By transferring some of the funds away from community college, the government could make apprenticeship more of a possibility for non-college bound youth. In order to create 250,000 high-quality apprenticeships, the government would need to spend around $105 million, which is only $450 per apprentice per year. At the state level, this money could be used to encourage high schools to become career academies by providing grants to the schools and offering rewards for every student that finishes the apprenticeship program. These funds would cover the costs of the counselors, the information and resources provided to the students, and the creation of a new curriculum. In addition, high schools will be incentivized by knowing that if students are completing work hours, they are not in the classroom, therefore reducing the cost for schools. At the federal level, this new allocation of funding will be used to inform companies of the benefits of apprenticeship, as well as incentivize them with subsidies and tax credits.
In conclusion, we have identified that college is in some cases detrimental to today's youth. We feel strongly that a change be made. We know that this change should be a shift away from college and towards apprenticeships. Our ethical belief that the community shares the responsibility for justice supports our proposal, which includes participation from students, businesses, the government, and most importantly, you. Please join us in this movement and use your position of influence to promote the funding of apprenticeship programs. The future of our nation's youth and our nation's workforce depends on it.
Thank you, Mrs. Legislator, for all of your time and consideration.